Be prepared. We've just witnessed one of the most important astrological events of the year. Most people think it's already over, but it's only just begun. You might think the energy has settled, but it hasn't. The real effects of this solar eclipse are just beginning, and most people have no idea how much they've already been affected. Because here's the thing, what you do today matters. While you're already feeling the effects from the eclipse, it's not over. Your actions today can disrupt your energy, block manifestations, or even trigger chaotic shifts that will ripple through your life for months. So you must be aware of what to avoid doing today. And no, this wasn't just any eclipse. This was a super new moon solar eclipse, a rare celestial event that doesn't just mark a change, it completely resets everything. Your energy, your trajectory, even the way the universe responds to you. And if you've been feeling completely off today, like nothing feels normal, keep watching, because there's one specific reason why this is happening right now. I will explain it later, so stick around. But first, there's something even more urgent that you need to know. Because if you made this one mistake today, you might have just sabotaged your own growth. If the first thing you did today was set new intentions, you might have just sabotaged them. I know it sounds strange. New moons are usually perfect for manifesting, right? Not this one. This eclipse didn't just give us a clean slate. It completely wiped the board. It created an energetic void where intentions don't just take root, they get scrambled. That means big intentions set today might not land the way you expect, or might take a completely different form. Now, if you did manifest something today, don't worry, you didn't mess anything up. But here's the key. Eclipse energy is unpredictable. The bigger the manifestation, the more likely it is to face delays, twists, or detours. If you kept it small, simple, and flexible, you're more than fine. But if you aimed for something huge, just be open to how it unfolds. It may come, but not in the way you planned. Ancient traditions understood this. Many believed that during eclipses, it was wiser to pause and clear space rather than call new things in. It's not about lack, it's about alignment. Sometimes the best way to prepare for what's next is to step back and let the energy settle first. And speaking of alignment, let's talk about your environment, because the space you're in today matters more than ever. Today is not the day to drown yourself in noise. If you're feeling off, overwhelmed, or just strangely irritable, there's a reason. Eclipse energy doesn't just affect you, it amplifies everything around you. That means every emotion, every thought, every vibration in a crowded space is heightened, bouncing off each other like chaotic static. It's not just the noise, it's psychic crossfire. Think of it like this. An eclipse is a powerful energetic reset. But when you're surrounded by people, their frequencies mix with yours. Every person carries their own emotions, fears, and unresolved energy. When you step into a crowded place today, you absorb that. You might walk into a room feeling fine and leave feeling drained, anxious, or even angry for no reason. That's not a coincidence. And it's not just about emotions. This kind of energetic chaos can cloud your intuition. If you're constantly picking up other people's frequencies, how can you even hear your own? So if you can, spend time alone. Or better yet, go outside. Nature isn't just calming, it literally clears your energy field. Stand barefoot on the ground, feel the air on your skin. Let the earth recalibrate you, because right now, clarity is everything. And if your mind feels loud, it's not because you need more answers, it's because you need more silence. The universe already spoke. Are you pretending not to hear it? Let's be real, you've already seen the signs. You've felt the nudge, heard the whisper, maybe even gotten the message so loud it was impossible to ignore. And yet, you're still asking. Eclipses don't bring new answers. They reveal what was always there. And right now, the biggest spiritual trap is convincing yourself that you need more proof when deep down you already know. How many times has the same thought crossed your mind? The same situation repeated itself? How often do you find yourself hoping for one more sign before you take action? Here's the truth. If you keep asking, the universe will stop answering. Not because it's abandoned you, but because it already gave you everything you need. The lesson is no longer in seeking, it's in accepting. Today is not the day to look outward for confirmation. It's the day to sit with what you already know and decide what you're going to do about it. And if that feels uncomfortable, good. That means the message was real. Not everyone is meant to be saved today. You might have already noticed it. People acting strange, emotions running high, friends or family members suddenly overwhelmed with frustration, sadness, or confusion. Eclipses shake people to their core. They bring buried emotions to the surface, force confrontations with truth, and trigger awakenings that aren't always pretty. And here's where the mistake happens: trying to save them. I get it. You want to help. You care. Maybe you can see exactly what they need to do, exactly what's holding them back. But here's the thing. This isn't your transformation. It's theirs. When an eclipse hits, everyone gets their own personal lesson. Some people will resist it. Some will spiral. Some will break down before they break through. But if you step in too soon, if you try to pull them out of their storm, you might actually rob them of the breakthrough they were meant to have. Not every drowning person needs a rescue. Some need to learn how to swim. That doesn't mean you have to be cold or distant. It just means your job today isn't to be their healer. It's to hold space, to listen, to be present, to let them go through their process without interference. Because when the dust settles, the people who are meant to rise will, on their own. The tools that worked before might betray you now. You try to ground yourself, but instead of feeling centered, you feel more restless. You light a candle, say your usual affirmations, and for the first time, they feel empty. Maybe you've already tried to meditate today, but instead of peace, your mind is louder than ever. Why? Why does everything that once helped now feel completely useless? Because today, the usual doesn't apply. The eclipse is an energy disruptor, a cosmic wildcard that forces us to break patterns, especially the ones we rely on for comfort. And if you've been using the same spiritual tools, the same coping mechanisms, or the same rituals for too long, today might be the day they stop working. Not because you're broken, but because you're evolving. Imagine a snake trying to shed its skin, but instead of letting go, it clings to the old layers. That's what happens when we hold on to coping mechanisms that no longer fit who we're becoming. The eclipse is stripping away what's outdated, and that includes the ways you've been soothing yourself. This can feel disorienting. If the things that used to bring clarity now bring confusion, if the routines that made you feel safe now feel suffocating, if your spiritual practices feel disconnected today, it's not a failure. It's a sign that your soul is asking for something new. So what do? You stop forcing. If meditation won't quiet your mind, maybe you're meant to listen instead. If journaling only makes things messier, maybe it's time to step away from your thoughts and into your body. If nothing feels like it's helping, maybe, just maybe, you're not supposed to be helping yourself today at all. Maybe you're supposed to be listening to what's breaking away. You are not losing yourself. You are losing the version of you that is ready to be left behind. So if today feels different, if your usual tools aren't working, don't panic. Don't fight it. Let it happen. Because when the eclipse energy clears, what remains will be exactly what you were always meant to keep. No two people walk the same path. So why would your transformation look like anyone else's? You're scrolling, watching, listening, seeing people talk about how this eclipse rocked their world. Some say they had massive realizations. Others claim to have seen divine signs, while some are dealing with complete life upheaval. And then there's you. Maybe you don't feel anything at all. Maybe today just feels off, but nothing life-shattering. And that little voice creeps in. Am I missing something? Did I do it wrong? Shouldn't I feel more? Stop right now. Not every shift is loud. Not every breakthrough arrives in neon lights. Some changes come as earthquakes, leveling your entire life overnight. Others come as whispers, as an unshakable knowing that something has shifted beneath the surface. But comparison, that's the trap. The mistake isn't in how you're experiencing this eclipse, it's in looking at someone else's journey and assuming yours is supposed to look the same. This energy moves differently for everyone. Some feel the weight of it all crashing down at once. Some won't fully process what's changed for weeks, maybe even months. And the truth? The most powerful transformations often happen in silence. The seed that was planted today may not even bloom until much later, and that's okay. Just because you can't see the shift doesn't mean it isn't happening. The eclipse did not forget you. Your transformation is unfolding exactly as it should. So let go of the need for proof. Stop measuring your experience against someone else's. The changes are happening whether you recognize them yet or not. And when the time is right, you won't need to ask if you've changed. You'll just know. If you feel off, good. You're aligned. Earlier, I told you there's one reason today feels strange. And if you've been feeling disconnected, restless, or like you've stepped into an alternate reality, you're not imagining it. Something feels different. The air, the energy, the way time moves. It's as if reality itself is shifting and you can feel it in your bones. Maybe you woke up feeling heavy, like gravity is pressing down harder than usual. Or maybe the opposite. You feel untethered, like nothing is fully real. Conversations feel distant, familiar places seem foreign, and for some reason you can't shake this eerie sense that something just changed. And that's because it did. The solar eclipse isn't just a celestial event, it's an energetic reset, a disruption in the fabric of what you once knew. It messes with perception, emotions, even the way your body feels. It's like a glitch in the system where the old reality flickers out before the new one fully locks into place. Right now, your mind is scrambling to find something solid to hold onto, something that feels normal. But that's the thing. Today isn't about being your normal self. It's about becoming the version of you that doesn't exist yet. And that process? It's disorienting. You might feel unmotivated, unable to focus, or weirdly indifferent to things that used to matter. Or maybe it's the opposite. You're feeling sudden surges of energy, bursts of creativity, like something inside you is waking up. And just as quickly as it comes, it shifts again. It's not mood swings. It's not anxiety. It's your energy recalibrating. You're not off. You're in transition. You're standing in the space between what was and what will be. You might feel lighter today, like something finally clicked. Maybe a weight has lifted, and it feels like you've made it through the storm. But eclipses don't just end, they echo. This isn't the end. It's the beginning of the test. The universe isn't asking how you feel right now. It's watching what you'll do when the old triggers come knocking again. That person you swore off, that emotion you thought you'd buried, that habit that quietly waits for a weak moment. The question is simple. Have you actually changed, or are you just hoping you have? Because the moment will come, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, where you'll have to choose. Fall into who you were, or rise into who you're becoming. If you're still watching, I'd like to thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed the content and want to see more, please consider clicking the subscribe button. Your support is very appreciated. Feel free to share your experiences or thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, take care and subscribe for more insightful content.